Hello, hello, this is Make the Nation, where we talk about news, we talk about culture, and where we remind audiences, every chance we get, that Curtis Sliwa was once shot by the mafia. I'm your host, Negin Farsad, and whether you live in New York City or most likely do not, you need to do yourself a favor and look at some clips of Republican mayoral candidate standing next to Mom Donnie and that other guy on a debate stage talking about being shot. It is... Honestly, it's just funny. And today we're going to talk about not Curtis Sliwa, because we're taping just before the second mayoral debates that are happening tonight, what I'm just like giddily excited for. But today we're going to talk about one school that's offering hikes instead of detention. We're going to talk about how Gen Z is rejecting the idea of the workplace emergency. We'll talk about the No Kings protest and making resistance fun. We'll throw in a spoonful of George Santos and a pinch of Instagram's teen safety controls. It is a tidy episode with many nooks and crannies, and I have the most delightful panel assembled for you today. Joining us for the millionth time, she's a comedian. I've just seen her just kill in so many situations around the country. She's so funny. She's also host of the podcast Parenting is a Joke. It is the one and only Ophira Eisenberg. Hey, Ophira.
Hey, Negin. Nice to see you.
Oh my God, so good to see you. Also joining us for the first time, but we just established that we've actually seen each other in other settings because she is a comedian of note here. She's also got a new podcast called The Mary Houlihan Show, something you should be immediately subscribing to, and titled thusly because she is the one and only Mary Houlihan. Hey, Mary.
Hi, Negin. I just want to say that I, too, was shot 5 times by the Gambino and Gaby families.
And Curtis, you're not the only one. Yeah, that's right. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. And I hope that you bring it up 5 more times throughout the taping of this podcast.
Of course.
I feel so unpopular about the fact that I haven't been murdered.
I know. Why don't I have any beef with like one single mobster? It's embarrassing. Okay, well, let's get into the show. Well, actually, no, before we get into the show, couple of points of order. One, there was like a flooding situation in my apartment and they're fixing it and it was unexpected and there's noise. So if that happens, apologies. But also, I would like to remind listeners that they can support the show at patreon.com/Negin Farsad. We're living in a time where we need independent media, such as Negin Farsad's, to do more of what we do. And by we, I mean me. So go to patreon.com/Negin Farsad to support Make the Nation. And when you do, there's bonus episodes of the show that you love so much. And the bonus is where it's just where we let our hair down. They're almost always fun. We try not to like make those super serious. Not that the show is tremendously serious, but you know what I mean. And so go to patreon.com/Negin Farsad. And now let's get into it with topic number 1. First up in culture, a high school in Maine is changing their approach to detention. Instead of the classic detention where you sit in a room and ostensibly suffer, you have the option of going on a hike. And now at first the kids were like, oh, this is so cringe, like why? But then they would do the hike and their moods would improve. And my question for the two of you is, what do you think? I mean, is improved mood something they should get out of what is ostensibly a punishment?
We're so soft on these kids. So soft. But also, I mean, on one level, if someone said to me, instead of detention, you're hiking, I would be like, oh, I'm never coming back. Like, I would just
right, like this is the motivator that I've needed to not be a bad person.
Oh, you're not going to put me in a room? Goodbye. I guess they're heavily surveyed while they are hiking. I don't know. That's question number 1. Who's like, are they just like, bye, see you back in 25 minutes?
Honestly, it sounded like it was this one lady. You know, and it didn't.
Does she work at the school? This one lady.
I know. What is her affiliation? Yeah, she works at the school. She loves hiking, and I think it was just kind of like they had this idea of like, what if we do this instead? And I gotta be honest, Mary, I'm curious about your thoughts, but I do have to say that a lot of by the end of the first year of this program, fewer kids were getting detention.
And they hated hiking that much.
No, but here's the funny thing. more kids were actually hiking because they enjoy going on the hikes voluntarily. I don't know. Mary, what do you think?
Well, it's tricky because when I was a teen, I got detention like all the time because I was late all the time. And so if I was a kid, I would just show up for the last 10 minutes of school at this point and be like, okay, I'll still get credit for the day and go on a hike. Why not?
Oh my gosh. So you were tardy like it was your choice to be tardy.
Yes,
In
I
high
hated
school.
getting up in the morning.
That was very rough for me too. And the fun thing is when you're a parent, you get to just enjoy that all over again.
Oh,
Ophira, were you about
God.
to say
It's like
that?
hell.
This is
Hell.
why I'm never having children.
And you know what? I've heard that some schools, especially high schools, have altered their hours because, I mean, in general, I'm very happy about this hiking thing. I think it's great. Like, there's that old thing where if someone's like having an extreme moment, you say to them, go take a walk. It's basically
Sure,
like
yeah.
disengage, go look at some greenery, and we might as well let these kids look at greenery before it's all destroyed. So, get it in
Well,
now.
yes, well, we still have greenery.
But so I think it's totally amazing. But also, some high schools are like, guess what? Nobody wants to get up on time. Teenagers need more sleep. Our school starts at 9. Some of them start at 10. All I can tell you is every single system we have in place is crap. It's total crap. It all needs to be dismantled. It does not work. It is based on some old models of how society works. It needs to be rejiggered. And so I love this hike thing. And the fact that all the kids are like, maybe I like hiking too, is adorable.
Can I also just
Adorable.
say that, like, my husband, now Ophira knows my husband, he has said to me on more than one occasion that he did not have an awkward phase in middle school and he did not have an awkward phase in high school. That motherfucker escaped feeling weird or bad about himself.
Is he
For
awkward
7
now?
Yeah, I know.
No,
Do you just get to skip it forever?
He skipped it forever. Just that thing that he just never had it. And he believes that he never had it because he was so heavily involved in sports. And he spent so many hours of the day in practice. And so he was outside his practice. And so I'm wondering if he had elevated mood, as they report about this detention program, because of sports. And that elevated mood kind of papered over the awkward period that we all experience and the anger and the existential angst. Maybe just teenagers need to be hiking in general.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Put him to work. Give him jobs.
I do think that. You know what? A matter of fact, on that note, I have a 9-year-old, and last year he was 8. As it turns out, that's how math works. Anyways, he's a smart kid, but he was like a little rambunctious in class, and I suggested, because they were punishing him, and I said, you know what? It's not going to work. I said, give him every job. Make him run around the school doing attendance, doing this. Like, just give him all your errands, all of them. And they did. And
it worked?
And it worked.
Oh, man, I love that. Okay, well, folks, let me know. What do you think about this hiking versus detention thing? I kind of love it. And by the way, this is happening in Maine. So they're doing this like they're handing out extra hats and ponchos in the winter. You know what I mean? This is like a cold region. So they're doing this year round throughout the school year. Good to know
there's school in Maine. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, that's huge.
Right? Okay, let's move on to another point in culture. Gen Z is rejecting the workplace emergency. We're not talking about the doctors, or at least I hope we're not talking about the doctors. We're talking about the kind of emergency we all know very well. You've got a job in marketing. The presentation deck isn't quite finished, or rather the slide deck. This shows you how much I go into offices. It's not finished. An executive is making a visit. Oh my God, in the comedy world, we have emergencies like network notes, or a producer is coming to set, or a comedian literally canceled for tonight. These are the non-emergency emergencies that we're used to in our work lives, and Gen Z is saying these are not emergencies. Now, I don't know. Mary, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it rules. I think work is tedious and blows, and it's 40 hours for only about 15 hours of work. And I think this has been really evident since the return to office thing, where it's just like bosses and executives being like, guys, come back to the office. It looks like I'm not doing anything. You have to come back to the office so it looks like I have a job. So hats off to people saying, you know what, I'm actually only going to do the work that's required, and I'm not going to do a bunch of BS on top of it.
Ophira.
Well, okay. You know what? I've had office jobs in my deep dark past, and I will say the office culture at the time was stay at the office for as many hours as you can. People would like compete with like, oh, I was at the office till 9 p.m. That was the badge of being a good employee.
Nightmare.
And I love the fact that I think millennials and Gen Z have completely affected the American corporate workplace hours. Like my friend works in finance. She has basically Fridays off because she's like, no, it's no meeting Fridays, no meeting Fridays. Nobody wants meetings on Fridays. Laptop shut, no meeting Fridays. But then she is hilarious because she's like, I suffer from Sunday scaries. Sunday scaries, of course, is when you have anxiety about Monday and all the work you have to do. So at her office, there's minimalist Mondays. Right, that's where you don't schedule a lot on your Mondays, so you don't have to have Sunday scaries. And then what is it? Fuck it Tuesdays and can't work now Wednesdays and who cares Thursday and back to. I just think like on some level, no emergencies, whatever. No generation has ever paved so slickly the way for AI to take over. Okay, like.
Oh my God! Right? Because this was my follow-up question to you, Ophira, which is, would you hire someone that's like, I don't believe in workplace emergencies? I mean, as a person, I've directed movies and stuff like that, and I've had to hire like dozens of people for these projects, and if someone didn't act like a scene we were lighting with a budget that we were following was not a thing that had to fucking be done in a really short amount of time and with all due urgency, I would be pissed. Now does that make me sound like a boomer? I don't know, but I'm just like, it seems dumb for there to be like an on-set emergency that is get this scene lit on time, but like
right.
Everything costs so much money when you're doing these things, like you can't go over budget. And that's the emergency part, right? And so,
sure.
Not that the thing is technically
An emergency,
but it's just like we can only spend so much money.
The work, yes.
On a real note, though, I feel like on film sets and live productions, I much prefer someone who's like competent but not freaking out. I feel like sometimes think that if they're freaking out, it means that they're working harder, and it's like you're actually like stressing everyone else out, and like now I have to like cater to your mood on top of the work I'm doing.
So like on a film set, on a TV show, it's like the first AD, right, who's responsible a little bit for like that kind
setting
of
the tone,
setting the time and the like mood around time. And I've worked with ADs that stress people the fuck out, and that sucks. But I've also worked with ones that are so cash, but they can like get it done. So I feel like that's like the art of that job is get it done on time without making everyone feel horrible, And so, and obviously also, I'm not trying to deflect responsibility, but as a director, you're also responsible for the mood on the set and all that stuff. But I think like, I think that's the true art of being like a good manager in general, like in these jobs that people are going to now Monday through Thursday and fuck it Fridays, is like that you should, demand stuff, but also without like making people have the Sunday scaries, like without making people feel that like horrible gut anxiety. But I also think Gen Z needs to show that they want to keep jobs.
Right, and that maybe they need to, I mean, not for nothing, everybody needs to learn how to do a job. So you can't just come in at the top level.
Right.
And be like, no emergencies, everything's fine. It's like, no, just nobody knows what they're doing. There's going to be way more emergencies.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So, but I do like the idea. I mean, some of that workplace emergency thing is just people hanging on to like the power of a pecking order, which I despise.
Yeah.
I mean, I think anyone who works in stand-up pretty much despises
yes.
that.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think that like that's just another like whatever. That's just people torturing other people based on the insecurity that they get to express through their job title.
By the way, crossover cultural moment. Do we not need to have hikes involved in the workday that calm people down? Something.
Yes.
Something like that. You know what I'm just saying? I'm saying let's maybe take a page out of this random high school in Maine.
Right.
And see
Sure,
what we could do to elevate people's moods.
If anyone does ever go to an office, I'm not sure they do. Last time I checked, my friend was like, "Oh yeah, I'm working my job remotely from Barcelona." I was like, "Right, this is just the way it goes now."
Well, here's the other weird thing is like sometimes I have to take my daughter
Cool.
to school on a subway. Mostly not. She usually mostly goes on the back of my husband's bike. But on the days when I do take her on a subway, I've noticed Monday through Thursday, subway's packed. And so I haven't looked into the data, but I'm so curious, like what is the literal current data on back to office stuff? Because Monday through Thursday packed. On a Friday, though, the subways are pretty easy, just like kind of,
No meetings
normalish,
Friday.
quietish.
No meetings Friday.
No meetings Friday. So I feel like there's stuff going on out there, and maybe it's hiking Fridays. You know
And
what I
you know
mean?
what?
Maybe that's what we're doing.
We always like to throw around like in Sweden, in Finland, in Norway,
Right.
like they've got it all worked out, and they do a 4-day work week, as far as I know, in many
In
different
Iceland,
jobs.
it's formal. It's like a formal 4-day work week. Now, there isn't, as far as I know, none of the other European countries have adopted the formal, don't quote me, but I don't believe that as many have adopted formally, like in the law, a 4-day work week.
Yeah.
So,
God
yeah.
forbid.
God forbid.
And they have health care. How did they do it? How did they do it?
Can I just say something totally off topic here, which is that
Sure.
a friend of mine went to Copenhagen recently. 2 separate friends went in the same week, 2 separate groups, and the thing that was reported back to me was, oh, Denmark is all white people. They have a really closed off immigration system. They don't let anyone in. And it's funny because I just never really looked into Denmark. I'm so sorry. As a podcaster, I feel like we should all be looking into Denmark, but I never did. And I was like, I did not realize that they have such a difficult immigration system. So they're not all about it. The pluralism and the heterogeneity. Yes. They're not all about it.
Oh God,
okay.
no. Oh no. No, they're, I mean, like, even I've heard from like a friend of mine who lived in Paris, fully bilingual, lived in Paris for a number of years, and he goes, people just did not want to be my friend because they were like, oh, you're not from France. Like, he was just socially shut out. You hear about this, like, even in American cities. You hear about that.
Listeners know that I lived in Paris for 2 years, and it was not at all my experience. I was welcomed into many people's lives.
Oh, that's nice.
And into their beds. Hey, all right.
Yeah, maybe my friend's just an asshole. I don't know.
Yeah. That might be the takeaway. All right, folks, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, there's more. Today's show is sponsored by Schedule 35. They are our trusted partner for all things microdosing. And I actually have a lot of experience in the world of microdosing and psilocybin and just, magic mushrooms. I wrote an entire piece about this, 6,000 words, on what a tremendous life experience it was for me to discover psilocybin. And so I'm really excited that Schedule 35 is partnering with us because, microdosing is a tool that helps you sharpen your focus. It clears out your mind. It keeps the anxiety at bay, and it can do it all day long, which is just really exciting. It's kind of like a little, a pill that I think for me, for now a couple of years, it has solved a lot of problems. And you can get that by microdosing with Schedule 35. Their products are backed by science and dosed to a precise amount, so you get exactly what you need. to tackle your toughest days without the hallucinogenic effects. In fact, it's like it doesn't feel like you're hallucinating at all, in my experience. They have a mission to destigmatize and educate on the science and real-world benefits of psilocybin, as well as making it accessible for everyone. And I honestly, I've been just like a little one-person, having my little one-person mission of telling people about psilocybin. So again, really excited that they're partnering with us. Each order ships discreetly. It comes with a microdosing regimen that keeps you on track. And if you're ready to have a good day, here's what I think you should do. I think you should head over to schedule35.co and use the code FAKE for 15% off your order. That's schedule35.co, code FAKE for 15% off. And again, thanks so much to Schedule 35. And again, schedule35.co. And we are back, and we're ready for topic number 2. Guys, we weren't supposed to talk about this, but now I just kind of can't help talking about it really quickly. In politics, this week, Trump commuted the sentence of known liar George Santos. He had pleaded guilty to identity theft and wire fraud. He was given a 7-year prison sentence. He has served only 3 months, and now he's out. Why did Trump pardon him? I mean, it's just one of those things about MAGA world that I'm like, was anyone in MAGA world asking for that one specific guy's pardon? I'm just baffled by the whole thing. Do you guys have any feelings on
I
the
think
matter?
Trump just wants, someone to feel indebted to him, especially someone who has such like a narcissistic, sociopathic need to be like a celebrity as George Santos does. And so I think he sees like, oh, this might benefit me to have like this idiot who will go on any TV show, any interview, to have him singing my praises.
Right, like he sees himself in George.
Yes,
So
yeah.
He's just
Mentor,
like my
mentee.
son. Yeah.
Yeah.
My own sons couldn't be this bad, but you
Yes,
have done
yeah.
it. Meanwhile, I think his own sons probably can really, if they try just a little harder, be that bad. Ophira, what do you think about this pardon?
I mean, I'd love to do there's a mastermind behind this that is like exercising their power. It's like literally that. I mean, what a perfect way to, exactly to your point, Perry, like supplicate someone is like, I can put you in jail. I can take you out. I can put you in jail again. Like, look, you are mine forever. Bow down, kiss the ring. But I always think that like, that would be thought out strategy, as evil as it is. And I think it's just much more chaos and senility and just waking up one morning and be like, now I'll do this. And it's just constant ridiculousness. And it's petty. Whatever it is petty. Super, super petty. It is literally like waking up one day and being like, I'm just going to do this. And then, but there's no thought of like how to actually manipulate someone, because I refuse to believe that someone is a mastermind.
Right. And also, I mean, I read somewhere in a couple places that one of the theories behind this pardoning was that Marjorie Taylor Greene had advocated on behalf of George Santos, which, there's like photos of them canoodling, you know what I mean? Like they're buds or whatever, they're pals. And it's interesting. We've talked about Marjorie Taylor Greene now like 2 or 3 weeks in a row. And because she's been rather reasonable on the Epstein files and rather reasonable on the extension of the Obamacare subsidies. And so I find it interesting that, at some point in August, she came out and was like really making the case that his sentence was too extreme and that he should be pardoned. And so there's like a theory that Trump is trying to curry favor with her because she is not as, compliant with the Trump agenda when it comes to this shutdown. And she's just a little bit more of a free thinker, as, crazy as she may be on certain issues or whatever, like on the occasional, a clock is right 2 times a day. She is kind of like right on the subsidies and on the Epstein files, so I think this was, so it's possible that this was, for that. Also, I mean, if we wanted to give someone real credit, which I don't think we need to ever do when it comes to Trump, I guess the 7-year sentence for some seemed harsh for the crime, although literally he pled guilty. I mean, it was a part of the deal.
I know, right?
And the crimes were like not small. Like he stole, he used the credit cards of people who didn't authorize it. He took money from the government when he wasn't eligible for it. There's wire fraud, whatever. So it's like there's a lot that went on with this guy, and so maybe 7 years. We think of white collar crimes as being like, guys, let's not be too harsh. It was just a gajillion dollars. But white-collar crimes need to be treated, I think, with a level of severity that we are not used to and we're not comfortable with. That's
capitalism is not good with that. Capitalism is not good with that at all. Capitalism is just like, but you did make some money.
Yeah, I know. And like, prison's not nice. It's not comfortable, so... Okay, well, George Santos, I guess, if you want your cameo from him, you can finally get it. I'm sure, Mary, I'm sure you were like, that's what you were after.
Yes. I bet you anything this is going to be, at some point, at many points, Trump is going to be broadcasting, I'm such a friend to the Latino community.
Yeah.
My good friend, George Santos, like...
Right.
Yes. I guarantee you.
Totally. My Jewish friend, George Santos.
Yes,
my Jewish Latino friend. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let us move on to, I want to talk about the No Kings protest and the broader resistance movement. I was at No Kings on Saturday along with 7 to 8 million other Americans across the country. It was possibly the largest protest in American history. I had a great time. I dragged a couple of friends with me. We chatted with others. We saw a lot of frogs and other animal costumes. Then we had brunch. Honestly, it was such a good time. And I guess my question is, did either of you go, and what did you get out of it?
I was in flight. So I landed in, actually, I was in Albany.
Yes.
Nice.
That's where I landed. And so I was at the airport. And as I was literally driving out of Albany, I just saw the end of people like coming home with their signs. So I was completely in transport. But, what can I say? I mean, I always wonder, I wish these things did more, right? Largest protest. I wish that, and I guess what I'm saying is immediate gratification, which is totally ridiculous to think that something
which
like
is not
that
how it works.
But it is. I think everyone is so who people feel so distraught and so disconnected and so at a loss, and that's what all of these gatherings on any level, community level, just any of it, is the point of it, is to make you feel empowered, that you're not alone and isolated and suffering or thinking all of these thoughts in a tiny little chamber, that there are other people that buoy you up.
Mary?
I also was traveling, but, I saw all kinds of coverage of it. I think it's great. And I think it's good that it's, some people say it's so general, or like, oh, there's so many normies and libs there or whatever. But I think that's good, because so many people can go to those kinds of events and like hand out flyers for more left-leaning things, or organize with people, or talk to people and say, hey, this is your first protest. We're having another thing next week. Do you want to come? I think it's awesome that it is general and like people bring their kids and that type of thing.
Did you find people were handing out anything in particular based on like social policy ideas or running for...
Absolutely. Yeah. There were people handing stuff out, and also people handing out stuff like, hey, we're providing legal services for migrants. Do you know of anyone who could benefit or whatever? And or we're providing trainings for people who like might work with migrants on like what to do with ICE raids and stuff like that, know your rights. And there's just a lot of stuff going on around like that. And so I think, it's interesting because, Ophira, you mentioned instant gratification. And one of the things we have to remember about social movements in general in the United States and probably everywhere in the world is that they are slow moving. and they require perseverance over time. And so where you might be doing a protest like this and not seeing an immediate result on the next day and might feel frustrated, that's not actually the way social movements work. Social movements take a lot of time. I just did a project for TED. It's called the Democracy series, and you can see it. I'll put the link in the show notes, but I did this 3-episode series. We went to Philly. We talked about the origins of democracy, but one of the episodes focuses entirely on the span of time it took to get the suffrage. I mean, we really take for granted how easily we vote, how how we all can go do it. When you turn 18, you register to vote. It's not a big deal. That right. I mean, we started out with some, I can't remember the exact numbers, but it's something like 15% of just the male population, land owning population could vote, at the start of the Republic. And so for us to get to the point where we are now, it took decades and decades and decades. I mean, remember, women only got the right to vote in 1922. So right. This is a test of perseverance. This is a test of endurance. And to say, that we did a march in, when was that, April, and then now we are doing it again, and it's not over, the administration still sucks, is just not how it works. But it is, I think, like, not to just plug my own series, but like, it's a great reminder to see how we've won rights in the history of this country. And we've won it because people like you and me and other people that were on planes got to go to protest over time, and they fucking stuck to it, even though it seemed like it wasn't
like you were
rendering
losing.
results.
Yeah, right. I know. We're also used to, in 20 minutes, I better see, a little bit of something. So it is, I know.
And that feeling is worse now because of the internet and stuff like that, and the instant gratification we have with fucking rinse.com. You get your fucking undies folded, and you don't have to do anything. Like, everything is meant to make us feel like life is easier and more convenient and more convenient and more convenient. And it's like, there's no app for this problem. All right.
There is no app for this problem is what I want on a goddamn t-shirt and a sign and a hat, flag.
I know. Is that the next Fake the Nation t-shirt? We're only doing optimism was the first t-shirt. There's no app for this democracy. Here's one last thing I wanted to talk about with this was that Trump posted an AI of him wearing a crown as a pilot driving a fighter jet, dropping poop on all the protesters. The provenance of the poop is unclear. Was it Trump's poop, in which case he's not only rejecting our right to dissent, but also he's coming out as a very pro-diarrhea president? I don't know. I found the whole thing very interesting. What did you guys make of it?
So stupid. I feel like, it's not even worth, it's so stupid, and it also, makes me think about people in office who, don't do anything, just write letters, and they say, this behavior is so unbecoming of the it's like, oh my God, shut up. You're not going to peer pressure him into not making AI art of diarrhea. So, it's rude and weird. Let's,
it's rude and weird.
do something.
It's so, Ophira, what do you think?
I just want to see, there's, whatever, these servers are out there. What is that? What did you do on a Copilot? Was that a ChatGPT? I want to see the prompts. I want to be like, me in a crown, but I'm a military hero shitting on the libs, or I want to see.
Right.
Right. There were probably a couple drafts that he was like, that's not quite it.
Yeah, I love the idea that there's a team that integrates AI video making into the presidential communications office. What?
That was a Gen Z emergency right there. They were like, I hope he likes it. Does he like the poop? He's coming. He has revisions.
It's also ridiculous because, Mike Johnson and others have tried to really make it, make fetch happen, which is to say that they were trying to say, this is a hate America rally. And just in terms of the sheer number of, shark and chicken and opossum costumes that were on display, I'm just like, I don't know that this is a hate, like this reads as a Hate America rally. It really, there were children, you know what I mean? Like,
Right, yeah.
there were lots of children. So there were people handing out waters and granola bars. What exactly?
With
There was also a lot
big
of like
smiles.
statues of liberty and flags. So is that gonna land? Does that land with anyone? That it's a hate?
No.
I
that
think
it was a
it's
Hate America
harder
rally?
for stuff like that to land with the advent of TikTok and to a lesser extent Instagram Reels, because of course there's always going to be people who are glued to Fox News 24 hours of the day and are like totally like worked up and think the left is going to murder them. But like anyone could just look at their phone and say, oh, this is chicken costumes and kids, this looks cute.
Right.
Yeah, in about a week's time, we're going to be like, was that a protest or was that Halloween? I can't tell.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
True. Oh man. Okay, folks. You know, keep your spirit alive. This is just the beginning, and it is about committing yourself over time. And honestly, reach out to me if you need a pep talk. I'm here for you. At fakethedation@gmail.com. I'm here for any and all pep talks that are needed. All right, let's take a quick break, and we'll be back. And we're back, and we're ready for topic number 3. Recently, analysis of Instagram's teen safety controls found them falling short. 30 out of 47 safety tools were, quote, substantially ineffective or no longer exist. Basically, that means there's stuff that the teens can access in there, like suicide, sexualized content, self-harm content. I don't know. I know me and Ophira are both moms, and this is something that hasn't hit me quite yet, but I know it's coming. So, Ophira, what did you think about this news that Instagram is not able to quite solve its own harming of teens' mental space with their own regulations on themselves?
They can solve it. It's total garbage that they can't solve it. They could totally solve it. They could 100% solve it. But, I always if you want to give me any conspiracy theory kind of cloak that I always wear, it is the one of profit. And you just go, there is some profit-driven situation here that doesn't make it great for them to solve it. And I don't know if it's on an individual influence. I don't know how that really plays out. I can't speak to that. I'd have to really get into it. But they can solve it. And so I just go, I am very for 21 years old. That's when you get Instagram. I'm just like, shut the whole shit down.
Okay, Mary, you don't have children, but I'm sure you've thought about like how seeing this stuff, if you were a teenager or even if you were in your early 20s, what do you
That's
think
true.
what do you think of these failures and what should be done about it?
Well, first of all, it's evil and intentional and a business being creepy, because Meta and Facebook has been sued over and over and over again for intentionally harming people for profits. And anytime they know a case is getting built against them, they do these phony things. They roll out look, we have new teen Instagram. It's intentionally done so that when they're testifying, they say, what do you mean? We did take steps to. It's completely intentional, and it's not to make teens safer. It's just to give themselves cover for when they eventually have to answer for it.
Totally agree.
That being said, there is so much psycho stuff online for kids to see. And I was talking about this with my cousin the other day. She was saying like, oh, I can't believe these shooting video games. And I was like, oh, come to think of it, I was playing GoldenEye on Nintendo 64 when I was like 10 years old and shooting my friends to death. And of course, like internet porn was like super available also when I was like middle school aged. So
Wait a second, and you are fine?
no, but I'm saying kids will come out as messed up as the previous generations. So do
But what
with
if
that
we
what
could
you will.
So,
change
okay,
that,
right, so
Mary? What if we could change that?
I know. What if
Yeah.
we broke the cycle? You know what I mean? What if we could break the cycle? It's funny
It's
because
so hard.
I
It's
also
so hard
think-
because then I also get the feeling of like, well, if I had kids, I'd go off grid and I'd do just like homeschooling. But then my kids would all be like radical communists who like don't have people skills at all. So I don't know what you're supposed to do as a parent.
Right. I mean, you know, and I know the answer of me just being like, shut it all down. It's like, that's impossible. Because, right, if you don't find it one way, you find it another. And I'm not saying that I grew up in like the idyllic time where we all just like held hands and sang songs as little innocent kids until, I mean, I grew up in a town where maybe, yeah, I didn't have access to porn on my phone or anything, but we would seek out drugs. We were so
Sure.
bored. We were just like, can we get high? You know, when we were pretty young teenagers. So,
Can I say something weird? Which is, I feel like, you know, I look at my kid and I'm like, man, I really would rather you do drugs than have a chatbot relationship.
Oh,
Right?
yes,
Is
of
that-
course.
is it- I mean, because I feel like
Drugs expand your mind.
Go on a hike.
Drugs. Yeah,
Get high,
at least
go on a
you
hike.
do them. At least you do. I mean, like my experience with drugs was so minimal and cute and like sort of like nerdy. Like I had a marijuana like 3 times in high school. It was really adorable, but it was. I mean, and it's funny because it was easier to get marijuana in California than it was to get like alcohol. By the way, alcohol totally age gated, and as a result, if you were like an average kid, it was just a little harder to get it. Like you had to jump through hoops, or someone's parents had to not be looking, or you know what I mean. It was and theoretically still just as difficult to get it, right? So there is something about like age gating these things and saying you can't do this under a certain age that it does not get rid of the problem. Are some people going to download VPNs from fucking Belgium so they can access an Instagram reel? Yes, they'll probably do that, but it's gonna make it harder, right?
Agreed.
And that's the whole point. And I think I agree. No kid should have it. And by the way, I love no kid should have it before 21, because if we've determined a 21-year-old can handle alcohol, I don't even think a 21-year-old can handle the internet. It can handle social media still. Like
No way.
I'm like, it should
I'm
be
not
the
great.
age of renting a car. A 25-year-old is maybe developed enough to handle social media.
Well, there's also a cutoff, an age limit to when you can handle social media. I would say maybe age 30 to 45, you can digest social media. Anything
like,
younger
have
than
enough
that or
perspective.
older than that.
Is right. So it's like only it's like a little 15-year period in the middle of your life that you really should have access to it at all.
Yes,
But
yeah.
I do, you know, just in talking about AI and how it's all being influenced, blah, blah, I do wonder, I don't know, I wish I knew how to answer my own query on this, which is with, like, at some point, it's just so bot-ridden, the stuff, the images, the videos, the advertisements. I mean, I see so many little ads that you're just like, oh, that's an AI-generated person. They're not real humans.
Right.
Not
Yeah.
real music, not real dialogue. And so at one point, when does it just become, I don't know, it's not even what it was.
Right,
Because
it's not us like
It's not
posting
social.
photos of our trips to Italy, making our friends feel bad because they didn't also go to Italy.
Right.
Sure.
It's photos of AI in Italy, and what are we even feeling about? Why would we have any feelings about it?
Yeah, why are we caring about that?
My question is right. So like AI slop, as they refer to it, which is this world of just shit internet. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
AI slop is like the fighter pilot thing that Trump
Yes.
did. This world of stuff, if we know that it is just garbage, and we've known that they can do computer graphic generated stuff for movies and television for decades. It's not like that's new technology in and of itself. The newness, it's not like we've never seen a fake fighter pilot before, right? Like we've seen this stuff, so it's like in what way? It's not like riveting. Oh, AI can do that. Like no,
Right.
that's that we're over the novelty of it, I think. So right now is just about the content. And is it that interesting? And do we, at one point, has AI slop completely jumped the shark to the point where we're like, all right, I'm tuning out of season 3 of AI slop. I'm bored with it.
In a weird way, that's my hope.
I know, that's great. I mean, that's kind of that is an oddly hopeful message. We just have to destroy the Amazon and energy costs before we get there, but otherwise...
Oh, God.
Finland's going to be landlocked, completely dry, and move forward. At least the kids will be healthier.
Right. No, but the other weird thing that came up this week in the technology world was there was an outage from Amazon Web Services that shut down like large parts of the internet for an hour. And it's interesting because it was simply just like a single point of failure in the Amazon Web Services company that led to this huge shutoff. And the question I think is like, Is it showing our dependence on these hyperscale web service companies? By the way, there's only 3 major providers of cloud services. So if one of them has a big thing like this, like Amazon Web Services did, then that's just taken out shit tons of websites. So, I mean, again, I think what we're seeing too is not just that like this is kind of a monopoly, but it's like an anti-capitalist monopoly, because if you're a real capitalist, you don't want one cloud service to be able to dominate the entire field this way.
So it was so interesting. I mean, I feel like that thing happened, and this is why I love humans. Immediately, whether it affected people or not, they used it. They were like, sorry, I mean, I couldn't do anything because the servers were down. I'm like, really? Someone was like, my flight was delayed because of the servers. I was like, the Amazon? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I felt really proud of myself for not noticing that it was down. So I guess there was 1 hour of the day that I wasn't using the internet.
It's funny because I think that I was trying to log into something and I was having a hard time, and then I was just like, forget it. And then like I, moved on to something else that didn't actually, like my actual writing deadline, which requires my brain and not the internet. And so I think I was subjected to it, but I didn't really, know that what was happening. But again, I'm just like, okay, we have favored 3 companies enough. Maybe let's just spread it around.
Can
folks.
We build a satellite? Can we get together and build a new satellite and shoot it up into the sky? Because I really think that we need
the people's satellite is what you want.
Non-profit satellite. I want a non-profit satellite.
Yeah, non-profit web
sure.
services satellite. There must be one listener in the Fake Nation world who can just do that. Guys, don't stop making it like hard and weird. Just like do it.
I have been disappointed in, where are the hackers? Where are the hackers,
I know, where are the hackers?
Take down everything that's bad. Come on.
Right.
Deplete people's savings in their banks. Come on.
I was actually talking to someone who works at Microsoft last night, just a acquaintance, someone I don't, and I said, she goes, I can't believe I still have a job. It's totally going to be taken by AI. And I go, well, can't you just go in and like delete a couple pieces of code here and there? Like slow them down.
Slow them down. Oh, by the way, we here at Fake the Nation do not support any criminal activity. Just for the record.
This is internal.
No.
Just for the record, that Brendan Carr may be taking of whatever it is that I say. I don't support criminal activity. Okay. Folks, that's the end of the show. My God, what a fun panel the two of you are. What a couple of charmers. I want people at Fake the Nation to be able to follow you and all the wonderful things that you do. Mary, where do they do that?
Follow me on TikTok and Instagram and all those places at Mary Hooley, and on YouTube, youtube.com/Mary Houlihan, and check out my new podcast. And
what's it called? Remind them of your podcast.
Oh, yes. Check out The Mary Houlihan Show. It's interviews with funny people, but also Trojan horsing radical beliefs.
Nice. Ophira, where do they find you?
You can find me on all the socials at Ophira E. Good luck spelling it. It's up to you. There's a PH, just so you know. But can I throw out a big show I'm doing, Nikki?
Yes, please. Absolutely.
On November 9th, if anyone's in the New York area, I'm recording a new comedy special, and it's being produced by Lewis Black.
Nice.
Who
Oh my
is
God.
one of the few good guys, everybody. And it's at the Comedy Cellar on the 9th of November. And the show times are super, as I like to say, parent and alcoholic friendly, 5 p.m. and 7 p.m.
Oh, that's
Incredible.
a beautiful
Right?
thing. It's beautiful. It's honestly, I can't tell you how proud I am of you right now for those show times.
Totally.
Yes. Oh, and I'm so glad Lewis is on board. He's like one of the sweetie pie-est greats out there.
Amazing. It's very, very lucky.
Folks, you know where to find me and everything I do, and I'll put a link to my TEDDemocracy series in the show notes, because I really do think it's helpful in the weirdness to think of like the broad sweep of history. Otherwise, you can email us if you have any questions, comments, or concerns at fakethenationpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks so much to everyone who makes this show possibility. That's our wonderful producer, Rob Heath. Thanks to Gaby Alter for our theme music. You can support the show at patreon.com/Negin Farsad. And otherwise, we'll be back in your earballs next week.